Hello everyone, welcome to our channel TECHLTEWORLD. So the today's topic that we are going to discuss is paging. Okay, so what is the role of paging in LT? Okay, so that we are going to discuss in detail today. The first of all, the major thing come in our mind that what exactly the paging is and why exactly it is required. Okay, so basically, suppose if you have, suppose this is a UV, okay, and it is in a connected mode, okay, or there is other state also that is it is in idle state, okay. So suppose UV is in a connected state, okay, and it is doing nothing at that particular time. So it will go to the sleep mode condition, okay, to maximize the battery strength, or you can say to save the battery life, okay. And that further that we, the extended topic is the DRX also, which is being used with reference to the paging, okay. So suppose UV is there and it is in a sleep mode, okay, when it is not receiving any PDCCH. Okay, so what exactly it will do? It will go to sleep mode, and there is a timer after that particular time duration. Okay, the UV will go to it will release, it will do the RRC release, and it will go to RRC idle state. Okay, so this is the general overview why, what exactly, and why exactly, basically what exactly the paging is, or in a simple language we can call it as paging in a LT network is basically used to inform or to notify the UV that, okay, is there any system information changes there or not, okay, or is there any event is going to come, okay. It can be, you can say, call, okay, it can be for the data use, okay. So any change in that particular events, okay, the various events, so this will be basically the paging is going to notify that, okay, wake up, now you have some data to work on, okay. So this is the layman language where exactly we can tell this is what the paging is, okay. The next question come in our mind, then that why paging is required. So I have already mentioned, okay, that why paging is required. First of all, if you go why paging is required, then to inform the UV that if any uh, data you are going to any PDCCH is coming or any data is coming. So basically, the paging will notify, okay, or give the information to UV in the RRC idle state also, okay. It will inform UV in RRC idle and connected state both about any system information change, okay, or any what you can say the earthquake tsunami related notification, okay, that is basically being uh, sent by using this paging, okay, or it is going to be informed by the paging or any CMS related, okay, that is like commercial mobile alerts notification. For that particular, the paging is required. So this is what you can say, some introduction about what is paging, why exactly we are going to use this, okay, and the paging parameter basically we are configuring in SIP2, okay. So I have pasted one a small log portion also, you can see in PDCCH configuration. These are the two things where exactly we are default paging cycle we are configuring radio frame 256, okay. We will discuss further on this, okay. So this is what exactly the paging, and when we talk about the paging, okay, so it can be initiated by the inode B, that is inode be initiated paging, or MME. Okay, so whenever I'm telling about the inode be initiated paging, that is basically for the emergency notification to the all use. Okay, like in this case, whenever I'm talking about the inode be initiated. Okay, so in this, it is going to notify all the UVs, and it is going to tell about the emergency notification, basically emergency notification. And we can consider emergency as ETWS. Okay, so this kind of notification, CMS, that notification is basically the inode be initiated paging. Okay, and whenever we are talking about the MME initiated paging, so any, like, you can say, whenever we are talking about this, so might be any incoming calls, okay, or SMS. Okay, so for this particular purpose, we are going to use the paging which is initiated by the core, that is initiated by the MME. Okay, so these are the two way where exactly the paging got initiated. Okay, now we are going to get much more detail about that how paging is going to take place, first point. Okay, and what exactly you understand by the paging cycle. Okay, and then we are going to come with this topic, paging frame and paging occasion. Okay, so let's first figure out, or let's first go with these points. Okay, that how paging takes place. Okay, this question will come in our mind. Okay, so whenever you can see, whenever UV is in RRC idle mode. Okay, so let's suppose we have a UV, okay, in RRC idle. Okay, so what exactly it will do? It will use the DRX. Okay, and why DRX is being used? To save battery life. Because see, whenever UV is on, it's not like that it will keep on sending or receiving the messages always. Okay, and it will keep on awake mode. Okay, else the battery will get drained easily. Okay, and the system, the hardware got, you can say, it can got damaged, or it will be not that much efficient. Okay, so for that purpose we are going to use the DRX cycle. Okay, so whenever I'm taking out the DRX, we will discuss on a separate video. But yeah, you just know this is discontinuous reception. Okay, and there we call it as a, that DRX we call it as a paging cycle. Okay, so now the new term that I have told you, the paging cycle. Okay, paging cycle. Okay, so what exactly the paging cycle is? In a very simple manner, see, suppose UV is there. Okay, so, and one thing, paging cycle will be always measured in a radio frame. Okay, so, and basically we can go with a lot of paging cycle values. Okay, in the terms of radio frame. Okay, that we can call it as, if you go with the range. Okay, so it can be 32 radio frame, it can be 64 radio frame, 128, or we can go up to 256 radio frame. Okay, but whenever you are talking that what exactly being regularly used as a paging cycle, so 128 radio frame. So 128 radio frame basically, or commonly it is being used as a paging cycle. Okay, so whenever I am telling about the 128 radio frame, so if you will convert this 128 radio frame, it will be like 1280 millisecond. Okay, and in seconds it is 1.8 second. So what exactly it is telling, the paging cycle? It is telling that it means the UV will wake up after every 1.28 millisecond. So suppose this particular duration, okay, then radio frame is there, and then this particular duration. So this is what exactly your, let me color it, this is your 1.28 second. Okay, and this is what we call it as a paging cycle. So basically at this particular time, okay, the UV is in a wake up mode. Okay, and try to read any of the data. Okay, so after waking up, suppose if does not find any paging information, any paging related information, then again you will go to the sleep mode. Okay, so basically what happening here, at this particular time it is in a wake mode, try to see whether any paging information, any data is there, pdccs is there, so it will decode. If not, again it will go in a sleep mode. So it will wake up for 1.28 second and then it will go for sleep mode. This is what exactly the paging cycle is. Okay. Now, when we are discussing about the paging cycle, there are other two more important terms will come into the picture. Okay, and that two important term are paging frame (PF) and paging occasion (PO). Okay, so what exactly you can see? I have taken an example. Okay, below from the internet. Okay, so this is basically defining what exactly the paging frame is. So whenever I'm telling about the paging frame, concentrate on this particular figure. This is one of the radio frame, okay, where UV is waking up. So it's very simple. Paging frame is that frame among all the frames where UV is basically waked up. Okay, so in this particular radio frame, UV is trying to read any of the data. Okay, this is what we call it as a paging frame. Okay, so this paging frame, one radio frame, definitely it will be having that particular frame, that is it will be one radio frame which will be having tens of frame. There is one more mechanism here. It is like it will be waking up at this particular paging, this particular radio frame, but it will not wake up for all the subframes. Here also we use one fundamental to utilize the more battery. Okay, so as per 3GPP, okay, in that particular radio frame, that is the paging frame where UV is going to wake up, in this it is only wake up for the subframe 0, 4, 5 and 9. Only these four subframe number it is going to wake up instead of all the tens of frame. Okay, and you can see, suppose at this particular radio frame it got wake up, and the next subframe and the next radio frame where exactly it is going to wake up, this is what we call it as a paging occasion. Okay, This is what we call it as a paging occasion. You can see I'm just using the different color so that it will be easy for you. So this particular off duration to this particular on duration, this particular duration we are considering as a, means you can say so simply the difference or the distance, or you can say the occasion gap between one paging frame to the other paging frame. This is what we call it as a paging occasion. And at this particular time, you can see, let me clear this. There is one more word, DRX cycle. DRX cycle, anyhow, we'll discuss more in detail. So, DRX cycle, when I'm considering, it is the on plus off duration. Okay, so this particular board the duration we call it as a one DRX cycle. It can be short, it can be long. That is the further discussion topic part. So see, this is your on duration. So from here on duration to the one on and off duration. This is, we can call it as, this is one on duration, and from here to here off duration. So on plus one on plus off duration, we can call it as a one DRX cycle. So I believe that means you are able to understand about all these three things: paging frame, okay, paging occasion, and the DRX cycle. Okay, so this is the fundamental, or this is the definition. By the definition we call it these three things. Now there is one important one more important thing in this is the calculation. Okay, so let's go for the further calculation. Okay, see, whenever I have told you one thing, that the paging frame, so the formula for the paging frame is SFN mod T, okay, as per the 3GPP, okay. And when we call it, so SFN, anyhow we know the SFN is from 0 to 1023. So value total SFN we can have 1024, okay. So this is what exactly SFN mod T. And when we are talking what exactly T refers to, okay, so let me tell you one thing, what exactly your T refers to. T is nothing but your DRX cycle length. Okay, so the paging frame as per 3GPP, the formula will be SFN mod T, where T is your DRX cycle, or this satisfy one of the equation equals to T divisible n, okay, into UVID mode n. Okay, so UVID will be your UV identity, okay, that can be of 15 digit number, okay. So that UVID is basically your MC mod 1024, okay, which will include your 15 digit number. So we got the UVID, and T is your DRX cycle, and the N, this is one of the other variables. When I'm talking about the N, it is the minima of T comma NB. Okay, so whichever will be the smaller one among this T and NB, we will consider as a N. Okay, so NB is nothing but it can be this values 4t, 2t, t, 1 by t, 1 by 4t, 1 by 8t, 1 by 16t, 1 by 32. This is defined by your 3GPP. Okay, and t is what your DRX cycle, and based on that your n value will be defined like 1, 1, 1, 1 by 2. Based on this table we used to calculate. Suppose in very simple manner I'm telling you, suppose at any calculation in any of the calculation your NB is T, then your N will be 1. Okay, this is how your N will be calculated. So we will put that into this particular formula, all these variable, and we will find out the PF, that is paging frame. Okay, now in the paging frame we have already told that not in all the subframe or complete radio frame it is going to wake up. It is going to wake up for the particular subframes only. Okay, so that also will be calculated. For that we are going to calculate this NS. Okay, so NS is basically calculated by maxima of 1 comma NB by 2, NB by T. So NB is there. Okay, and T anyhow we know that the DRX cycle. Okay, so from there we are going to calculate the NS. Okay, and there is one more formula where we are going to calculate the IS. Okay, and IS, see, there is a proper table for this. So for FDD NS we are going to have three values, either it can be 1, 2 or 4, and based on that we are going to have the paging occasion. Okay, where we need to find the IS value. So this is your NS value which is calculated from here, either it can be 1, 2 or 4. So NS we are able to find once we are, and NS can be calculated with this variable NB and T. Okay, which we have already calculated. Okay, and based on this NB and T we are going to calculate NS. Okay, so it can be 4, 2, 1. Okay, this is the formula and this is the table as per 3GPP. So now we have all the variables. There is one more variable IS. Okay, so IS is calculated on the formula floor UVID. Let me write it in a clear place. Okay, so whenever I'm telling about one other variable IS, that will be floor UVID divided by N mod NS. Okay, so we have all the values with us. We have UVID with us, we have N value with us, we have NS value with us. Okay, so with this all values we are going to calculate IS, and based on the 3GPP table. Okay, so paging occasion we will calculate based on the IS. Suppose your IS we have calculated that is 0. Okay, then and your NS is 1, then the paging occasion will be on subframe 9. Okay, it's very simple. I have already told you the paging occasion, it means where exactly the UV, which radio frame the UV is going to on. So let's suppose this is one radio frame, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so what exactly this is? This is one radio frame which is of 10 millisecond, correct? So this is one radio frame, and as per this particular table I have told you this is your on duration. This is basically where exactly your U is going to wake up. See, relate with this particular. So I'm discussing about this particular radio frame. Okay, so in this, as per 3GPP, it will not wake up at all the point. It will either wake up at 0. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, the fourth one, the fifth one, or the this one. Okay, I think somewhere I have done wrong. Yeah, it is like that only, 0 to 9. Okay, so it will wake up at this. So it is very simple. Let's see. This is already, I have told you, I have shown you the calculation, but we have directly with the 3GPP spec. Okay, so when your ns value will be 1, okay, and your is is 0, then at this subframe only your uv will wake up. Okay, and if your ns is 2, okay, and is is 1, so you can see in that particular case, or the two occasions, okay, it can be this both occasions, so it can be wake up at your 4 and 9 both. Okay, when we are considering ns like it is having, it will occur at 4 occasions. Okay, so it will be occurring at 0, 4, 5. So all these 4 subframes your uv is going to wake up. This is what we call it as a paging occasion. Okay, sorry, the paging frame on which it is going to being uh, wake up for the paging. Okay, so this is what exactly the fundamental of paging. Okay, following further, we will go with uh, the paging, the DRX, where we'll discuss much more on the DRX. So when I'm telling about the paging, okay, one or two more concept will come in picture. So whenever you will going to see the information elements, okay, the eyes of paging, okay, so there are the few major eyes I will tell you. It will going to give you the paging records. Okay, that how many MCs are there. Okay, or you can say the TMCs are there, which has been recorded in that particular list. Okay, it can be 1 to 16. Okay, and there will be a UVID. Okay, that we call it as, it can be as TMC. Okay, or MC. Okay, and then we have a system information modification that will be like, it can be true, it can be false, then your ETWS. Okay, so these are basic. It will be giving you the information, it will be giving you the further eyes information, that is ETWS. Okay, so it can be either true or it can be false. Okay, and then we have the CMAS, okay, indicator, so it will be also like true or false. So these are basically your major information elements of the paging. Okay, and whenever I'm talking about that, from where exactly this paging will flow, so this is basically using the channel, the PCCH, for that will be using logical channel. Okay, PCH, transport channel. Okay, and then it is going to use a PDSCH. Okay, physical channel. So this is all about the paging, what exactly the paging is, definition of paging, what is paging occasion. Okay, then one more thing, that how exactly this paging is initiated. So this is basically initiated by your MME inode B. So whenever it is initiated by the MME, it will be on S1 APE. Okay, the paging will be sent, and there is a proper timer for this. This particular timer is T3413, and this timer name is supervision timer. Okay, and this is basically used for your paging procedure. Okay, so at this particular time, see, if you'll take if you'll go with the proper flow, that is mme e node b, okay, and we have the uv, okay. So in this particular flow we can see once your T3413 will start here, that is your supervision timer, then it is going to send the paging, okay, on S1 AP, and then it is going to send the PDCCH, okay, with the PRNTI. This is the one of the radio network identifier for the paging, okay. So we have a separate video for this, okay, and at that particular time your UV is going to, so in this flow we can see uh, see in the UV side the DRX cycle is in progress, okay. So DRX cycle means it will be showing you the paging occasion, DRX cycle on, paging occasion will be there continuously, okay. At this particular time when it is going to receive any PDCCH with the PRNTI, this radio network identifier is telling, and then your paging, okay, that will be basically through your RRC is being done, okay, and then it is going, then after that it is going to perform the ratch, okay, and then your RRC connection will be required, RRC connection setup will be there, okay, and then RRC connection setup complete. So this complete rise process will be performed here, and once this has been done, then enode B will send, or it will send the service request on S1 AP, and after that your the timer which has already started, the supervision timer which is specifically for paging, that will stop, okay. So T3413 will stop at this particular time, okay. So this is the normal flow which I have just added, okay, so that you can easily understand about this T3413. And when I'm telling about the T3413, always remember this supervision timer T3413 will not be applicable or not be used at the time of CSFB, okay, the first thing. And whenever UV is addressing by the MC at this particular time, you are not going to use this T3413, okay. So this is what all about the paging, okay, that we have discussed. So thank you, thanks for giving your time, okay. I have tried my level best to let you know about the paging, okay, and probably the next video we will try to have on the